Jen McNerney here with Heart Rooted Healing, and I am going to be using my husband as well, you need to organ flush anyway. We're going to be organ flushing. This is part of something called contact reflex analysis. This is Dr. Versanel's genius, and now it's a modality that everybody can partake in because it is accessible to all practitioners that are working with the body, mind, and spirit. So with organ flushing, the reason why we would organ flush is that if you have a practitioner that says, oh, part of your protocol is to organ flush once a week or once daily, you'll get a specific protocol using the testing modality. And right now, I get a lot of people are like, what is organ flushing? Why would you do it? Well, we have a meridian system. We have our physical body, and we have all our organs that are tied to an energetic system, a meridian system that's moving toxins out. And sometimes it gets very sticky or sludgy or slow. And this is when organ flushing comes in handy. It is kind of life-changing once you learn the modality. So for me, usually your practitioner, if you were going to be seeing them in the office, we would be using like a testing with the Stone's reflex to see, like, does he need to organ flush? And if he goes weak, which he is, so this is a true test, he needs organ flushing. That's how we know, and we go in and we start. So I have marked up my husband. So these 2 points are the kidney reflexes. We have the right kidney reflex and the left kidney reflex. So I am going to start going counterclockwise, going to the right here. So I'm going to flush I'm going to shoot my fingertips here. And it is, and you can give feedback too, PJ. It is going to feel like pressure because I'm going to go down deep, and I'm going to use, like, ergonomically, I'm using my other hand to push in. So I'm flushing right kidney reflex, and you may get a specific, I can feel it pulsing right now, and I'm just going to, how does that feel on your end?
It feels like a good pressure that's in there, like it's releasing something.
Yeah, and and a lot of times people here might have an emotional release. I've cried, I've released things emotionally, so you're just open to moving out the energy. So with the intention of I'm organ flushing, that is enough. But I often will go the extra mile and almost visualize the energy flowing to this kidney reflex, flushing out. The kidneys are super important for flushing out toxins. And there it went. And he even just took a big breath. Now, you're going to be doing this at home, so you're going to get a specific time. Your practitioner is going to say, hey, organ flush these reflexes for 3 minutes, 4 minutes. So you can set a timer and do that. Because I am muscle test or use the energetic testing, can now go to this reflex and see if it's done. And I'm going to pulse this. This is a 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 89. I felt the release. He also took a breath. So if you're doing this on your loved one, spouse, children are a little trickier because they're not going to maybe lay here, but I'll teach you some hacks for that. So we're done with the kidney reflex. Now we're going to the gallbladder reflex. So I have it marked, but it's basically along this lower rib range. And now this is tricky because the gallbladder reflex is, it's tender because that's like all that bile, that frustration, that stuckness, so just breathe. And you're going to tell whoever you're doing this to breathe. So I'm going up and under and pushing. Yeah. And you know what, PJ, you could even put your other hand on those emotional reflexes on your forehead, like NET style. So you can just breathe in. So we're combining a couple modalities here, but if you know, you know, and I just could see he's releasing something emotional here. And so I'm just going to flush. Again, you'll have a specific time you're flushing, but if you were in my patient, this would be what I would be doing. And this is a manual flush. There is technology called sympathetic resonance technology. There's a long light, And you can, if you own that, you may flush with that, especially kids like that. It's non-invasive. It doesn't hurt as much. Breathe. And you can see his whole body starting to release. Okay, let me muscle test you again. On this reflex, the liver reflex is now at 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, once, twice, 3, 5 times. Okay, so he's done, the liver reflex is done. That was not, or not liver, sorry, my mistake. The gallbladder reflex is done. We're gonna shoot up to the liver. My mind was already going there. So the reflex is here, technically, but that's his rib cage. So I'm not gonna push on his rib cage. But manually, I can go under the rib cage and push up to get that liver reflex, or this technology is part of contact reflex analysis. You can buy this in the CRA Wellness store. I have an affiliate link. So basically, if I didn't want to do that, I would just put this long light on the liver, the liver reflex to flush this reflex, organ flush the liver. But this is a video for the people at home, and you can still access the liver reflex by following his rib cage. It's the upper part. So the gallbladder reflex is like the lower part. So we're gonna move up a little bit. Sorry, this is not gonna be pleasant. So I've had Dr. Jordan Bray show me that there's another way to really get in there to like really flush it out. So you're gonna kind of lean over, and now I can really see his rib, and I'm just gonna kind of go up and under. Breathe. Again, he's gonna feel like $1 million after this, but I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I've had it done to me. Yeah, breathe. And some of the emotions of the liver are anger, frustration. And so if you're feeling any of that, let it go. You can put your hand on your forehead if you feel called to it. Just breathe. So now if you were laying back down, you can lay back flat. I just really wanted to you're gonna go, see how's there's the rib cage. You're gonna go down under, providing steady pressure, and it's already his body starting to calm down. There was an initial reaction. Good job. Let that go. Now I'm gonna borrow his arm, because of course there's some intuition here. I'm watching his physiology to see when it's done. This is an hour, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. This is so I'm not done yet. So I'm gonna keep going. I'm almost done. Breathe. Okay. And borrows arms. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Once, twice, 5. Okay. I love this system because there's so many checks and balances. So like you can check so many different ways. How are you doing, hon?
I'm doing all right. There was a lot of big releases though, so.
Okay. So now we've done right kidney reflex. We've done gallbladder reflex. This is technically the liver reflex, but we access it a couple inches up along that the rib cage. See where he's red there? So yeah, it's a good pressure. So it's not like loosey-goosey. Now we're gonna go all the way over to now the spleen reflex is here. So we're gonna, again, if I were using the long light, it would just be right on that reflex just below the nipple, and you would just do that way. But this is to show the folks at home how to do it without the light. So you're gonna go see how we had the gallbladder reflex. This is the pancreas. So spleen is just up along here, and I'm gonna get down under and in. Breathe. So he's having a release. He's got, yeah, let it go. So I want you to see that if you're flushing a loved one or, a patient, it's not uncommon to see physical tears release. Does it hurt, or is this more emotional?
This is emotional.
Okay. And I'm kind of feeling his body pulse back. I'm just gonna wait till that relaxes, and then I'll retest. And of course, I'm making the video, but if I wouldn't be doing a lot of chatting here, I would be holding space for the release. And I can do and both while making the video. Let me just test this now. This reflex is a 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So that one is done. Now you would think you would go down to the pancreas reflex, but we're gonna go down to the left kidney reflex and then back up. So that's just like you have the belly button, the umbilicus, and then it's just like a little bit over, up at an angle, maybe an inch or so. And so I'm just gonna flush his left kidney first. Now I'm going to retest this reflex. It's now a 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. 90 is balanced optimally. So it's not based on, it's just the premise of it's optimal for him. It's in balance. So now we're going to jump up to the pancreas. So we're going to just push into there. Is that tender or is less tender?
That's less tender than the other
Yeah, I can
spots.
feel that. So this might just and I could even, if I'm saving time in my office, I would be muscle testing each reflex to even see if it needs to be flushed. Because when you come in here as a patient, the whole intention of the session is what is going to get to the root and bring you back to balance the fastest. And that is root cause medicine. That's biofrequency medicine, and putting all my unique tools on menus to get him back to homeostasis. So that's why I love CRA. It's been a game changer for me as a healer, as a speech language pathologist. All of my certifications, whatnot, I can use modalities like to bring him uniquely back to balance. All right, And that is at 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Sometimes I'll muscle test my own finger. It's 10, 20, 30, 40, 30, 90. It goes down, same thing. Okay, so now we're going to come down to the Iliocincal Valve, which if you have your child or loved one, you have them bend. So it's about halfway between the belly button, I've already marked it, and where the crease is in the hip, and that's right here. And so I'm just going to flush his iliocincal valve. This one is a valve that oftentimes people have emotions tied to this. This is a vital point in neuroemotional technique. So you might have to coach a child to breathe through some of this. Let me just test this. 10, 20, 30, 40, 70, 90. Okay, and then I'm going to go over to do the sigmoid colon, which is the left side. So it's the same area. So we have the crease here, the belly button, and about meeting it halfway. I already marked it. And now I'm just going to press there with my fingertips, just providing a steady pressure till I meet some resistance. And then you'll feel the resistance lessen or change. Okay? You can straighten your legs if you want. Whatever is most comfortable for you. And this one is now what? And then there's a bladder reflex. So obviously make sure that you go to the bathroom before you organ flush somebody. That's just like in between here, just below the belly button. Just gonna press in there. This one doesn't feel like it needs as much attention as some of the other reflexes and spots. And I'll just muscle test it with my finger or him. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. And then always, always, you want to end with the umbilicus, the belly button reflex or umbilicus. And this one, parents, moms, dads, caretakers, you could just do this on your child. This one alone will help with tummy upsets, eating the wrong thing, something getting stuck. It's like the flusher, like the toilet flush. So I always want to like flush the toilet at the very end to make sure everything gets flushed out. And you're going to want to drink water after this, PJ.
Will do.
And again, this is a nice one if your younger child is sitting on your lap. You can just come from behind and do this for like belly aches or eating, having a stomach upset, whether it's emotional upset or physical or energetic. We have metaphysical toxins too. So we are multidimensional beings. And let me test this. And I also had my original, like a practitioner, I had that Stone's reflex, and now it's nice and strong when I try to push down because we just did the whole protocol for organ flushing. And any anecdotal feedback to how you feel at this moment?
I mean, I didn't realize how much tension and stress that I was holding on to. And now it feels like everything feels a lot more relaxed.
Good. And for the sake of another video, I'm just going to go show the different points. looks weird on the side. Thanks, honey.
You're welcome, love.